Hi there, this is Amanda Hill from FFS, and we're going to show you the difference between VAT registered and not VAT registered sales. So one of the things that might be helpful to you is this great little VAT calculator. It's www.vatcalculator.co.uk. So what you can do is you can just put in the figure you're selling something for and work out what the VAT element was. So on £5.97, the VAT element would be £1. Great little freebie, very useful to you. So back to the VAT registration, not VAT registration. Now, the very helpful site for VAT registration is actually the government one. And it's telling you about when you should re-register, why you should register. If you just Google VAT registration, it will actually give it to you, but that is the URL, www.gov.uk/VAT-registration/when to register. Now, it'll tell you all of the VAT taxable turnovers and thresholds that you need to know in the UK. If you're based outside of the UK and you have stock at UK prep centres or with Amazon, you have to register straight away. This is quite a useful site for all sorts of different things, so have a read through it and see if you need to register. As the law changed earlier this year, and Amazon now must tell the government, if they ask, if your VAT what your turnover is and what your sales are. So go and take a look. You don't want penalties. It's not a good thing. And also, of course, Amazon would prefer you only had one account. And you can only do second ones and third ones with their permission selling different things. So let's just go and have a look at the difference. So on one particular line, I've just done a very quick calculation using Excel for VAT registered and for non-VAT registered. But if you are VAT registered, there's a whole heap of things that you can also be claiming back. So those of you who are trawling the world's supermarkets, is that a nice way of putting it? Fuel, you're paying VAT on that. Parking, you're paying VAT on that. Postage to you and postage out, probably, depends on if you're doing postage and packing. Stationery and 1,000,001 other things come with VAT. So if we just went back to our VAT calculator and we just put in, I don't know how much it costs you to fill your car up. I've just got a new one and realised it doesn't take as much as my old one. So if I just put £78 in, remove the VAT, £13 of that £78 is VAT. If I'm using it for my business and I'm putting it through my business, that £13 can be reclaimed. As of course can the rest of it, but £13 in particular for the VAT element will become part of the equation. Let me show you what else happens. So my cost for this line is 70p plus VAT. My Amazon shipping fees for Fulfilled by Amazon are £2.11. Now, that would also have VAT on it if I was not VAT registered. As I am VAT registered, that fee is less. My shipping cost is also net of VAT. If I'm not VAT registered, it is gross of VAT. When I sell it, it's sold at exactly the same price. My labels cost me the same price. My prep bags cost me, but in this case, it also costs me plus VAT. So my 3p here is now, a little bit extra, and I've forgotten my equal sign. So there you go. VAT out costs. This is the cost that I owe to the VAT man, but not quite. Let me show you why. My costs are various of these things along the way added up. I can also claim back the VAT on my label cost when I bought it. I can also claim back the purchase VAT element of my item. So when I come to my net profit, by adding in all of the elements just related to this, I will end up with £2.25 out of that particular individual sale. Now, if I work it out for not VAT registered, there is a difference, and the difference is, in this particular sale, 25p. And that's on every single one. Well, hang on a minute. If I just divide that's going to give me 52 of those will add up to the £13 in fuel. Now, I don't know how long a tank of fuel lasts for you, but even if you only filled it up once a month, you're claiming those 25p back quite quickly, just on your fuel element alone. And then, of course, parking, postage, stationery, myriad other things. If you have premises that are VATable, you're almost certainly VAT registered anyway. There are heaps of things that you can be claiming back. Now, once you go over the £85,000 turnover, you know that really isn't a lot. That's just £7,000 per month. And with some key lines going through there, you can do that pretty damn quick, especially when you get to Q4. For those of you who haven't been through Q4 yet, you've got something spectacular coming if you do your homework and you put the right lines through. Now, you should be keeping the VAT in a separate account. And at the end of every week, or at the very least at the end of every month, keep track of where you are with your VAT, because you need to be keeping that money separate, so that when you do have your VAT bill, you're not worrying about it. You've got a month and a week after the quarter ends to pay it over, but you do need to be very careful. What you're also going to get when you register for the first time to do your first quarter is the value of any stock on the day VAT registration started will actually probably give you a VAT rebate. And also, you can get that from Amazon as well. Both of those are the subject of another video. But I hope that has actually given you an idea of what VAT registration means for you and your business. And I hope this VAT calculator, which is a freebie, is useful to you. Any questions? Feel free to ask.